It's time for another special edition of the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live as the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers meet in the World Series. Tonight's broadcast is a Northern Lights Entertainment production. Here are your hosts, Glenn and Eric.
All right, welcome to the Postgame World Series Game 4, Glenn. Toronto Blue Jays come on top today, 6-2 after that marathon. Well, 2 games. Hey, remember we say we want to play 2? Well, they played 2 yesterday, went into the wee hours of the morning. And look, Blue Jays came out on top today. It kind of panned out how I thought it was going to pan out. Once you got into the bullpen, which bullpen was gonna fall by the wayside, Glenn? And look, Blue Jays, some of their big guys stepped up today. Clement, Barger, Guerrero, Bichette had a huge freaking shot off the wall today. What was that? A double off the wall. But yeah, it was good to see Toronto bounce back after a heartbreaking loss yesterday, Glenn.
Oh, dude, what a game last night. I was sorry I couldn't get on the show with you. I had to do the rock and roll radio show filling in for Dave this week. I was on bright and early at 6 o'clock this morning. I think you were maybe still on doing
I might have been just getting off.
6 a.m., but it was worth tuning in for a big game tonight, Eric. And, of course, the big swing of the bat. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
for the 19th in Yamamoto. There's a fly ball to deep left center field. Headed back there. It is gone. Vlad Jr. gives the Jays the lead. The franchise face putting the team on his back.
And that was the big stroke of genius tonight for the Blue Jays. But you know what? Everybody seemed to be hustling tonight. You see that play at, I said it last year. God, I should have been a scout, Eric. First time I laid eyeballs at Oracle Park on Ernie Clement. He hit a home run. I go, this guy's got a glove. He can hit. And you see him hustle that play at first base down the line there. I think they went to review, I believe. And he was called safe. The guy hustles, man. That's one thing about the Blue Jays. We always say they get the bat on the ball. They barrel the ball. If you put it in play, things can happen. If you strike out, if you just not.
Sometimes the ball goes to their defense. Sometimes the ball goes to their defense, but sometimes you just find a hole. Look what happened today. Yep. Barger had a big RBI today. Just got under the glove of Mookie Betts at shortstop and scored another run. I tell you, this is today. Once it got to the bullpen, Toronto Blue Jays played Toronto Blue Jays type of baseball, making contact, getting those hits, having the guys run. You're talking about hustle. I didn't get a chance to talk about it going back in time a little bit yesterday. That play when Barger was at third base and Jimenez hit that long fly ball, and it was Clement, I believe, that was on first base. Clement took a beeline to second base. Barger saw that. He hauled ass to home plate because if he was out at second before he came across home plate, that run wouldn't have counted. But it was okay because he was safe anyways. But the hustle, that's what you want to see, right? Especially this time of the year when every game matters. You're going to go out there, and it's great to see the hustle.
And a lot of people catching the Blue Jays here in the postseason, Eric. I got a chance to see them a lot during the regular season. That's their style of play. They hustle, and they can hit. You know what? They're giving the Dodgers a run for their money. I don't want to leave Lou hanging for 12 minutes. I got to get him in here, Eric.
And now, a special guest appearance, Lou Marsden, on tonight's edition of the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live.
Where is he? Lou. Oh, there he is.
Hey, what's up, Lou?
Hey, guys. Hey, before I forget, I just wanted to commend 2 different people. I want to commend the chat for last night and, of course, Eric going solo. I was talking to Eric in the top of the 18th. I go, dude, I can't do a post game. I got a call early in the morning. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. And to tell you the truth, I think I slept. I don't even know if I hung up on them. I was so exhausted. But I also wanted to commend the chat because I saw Eric's show last night that late. The chat was here for this network, which shows you how great the chat is. Eric, top notch. I mean,
thank you.
Being so tired, you had everybody laughing, talking. Now, I know it was a great game, but I just wanted to say you guys and the chat, well done. And, while me and Glenn were sleeping away dreaming, you guys really held on well. About tonight,
Dreaming.
Yeah,
Dude, I got my 2.5 hours sleep and was right back up. I was, I'll tell you, a lot of people up here, Eric, Lou and Eric, a lot of people are here. A little tired today. Some people, I think, might have used their sick day today, not wanting to go into work because it was some late night. That game never ended until almost 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning in Newfoundland.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But what I did want to say is you got to really commend Toronto, not because they won the night, because they literally could have turned around, said, Ohtani, oh my God, it's over. But a true team, when you have 7 out of 9 guys get hits for a team, they basically had a chance to open up the floodgates, and they got the key hits. Bichette, you got that double when it counted. Vlad, of course, being the superstar he is. But you also got to commend one guy, which I know we're going to get to. But Bieber, being a free agent, only his 11 starts. Both starts, he has been phenomenal. He's kept him in the game. Both times, he's done exactly what you want a starting pitcher to do. I thought it was great that, he came back because this will be the last time he pitches for them. He's going to be a free agent. He might not even, probably won't be back with them. But you got to really commend him because, I know both teams were tired, but it was 90 degrees. The ball was flying out during batting practice. I was worried, oh, my God, if the Dodgers got the lead, we're in big trouble. But you know what? Toronto, like always, was down, came back, put the pedal to the metal, and, it was over. I thought they won it when they were up 2-1. But once they added on and got the shutdown inning that we always talk about, and now we're going back to Toronto. Now the pressure's really on the Dodgers tomorrow. And I think what's amazing about baseball, and I'll bring back to you guys 2 things. We keep thinking we know how this series is going to end, and it does complete opposite. And the best part about it, it's amazing how 24 hours you can feel so much better if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan. You literally 18 hours ago were frustrated. You were upset at the refs. I mean, not the ref, the home plate umpire who was, a joke. You lost. I also think their manager probably had a lot of problems because he actually had no offense at all. He took out, especially with the injury, your only 2 other offensive threats, except for Guerrero, were on the bench. But a huge bounce back win. Now, again, it's just amazing. Toronto's feeling good. And you know what? They got to have a little confidence in it, Snell, because they did get him last time. And now Glenn's favorite guy, the Rook's going to come tomorrow in the biggest start of his life. And, who knows? If they can go up 3-2, it'll be frenzy. But, let's just concentrate on the game tonight. A huge win. And, a real spark plug because, again, after that emotional loss, it could have gone either way. They bounced back like a championship team they are.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to talk about – you're talking about Shane Bieber, and I was going to get to there because both starters, John Schneider, man, did a hell of a job letting him go, right? As long as he could go. Remember, this guy only pitched – how many games did he pitch in a regular season before he came back? It wasn't very many, right? Yeah, it wasn't very many games.
And that includes the playoffs too, so maybe 7.
Right, so something like that. So good on him because, when you're coming back from Tommy John, your command isn't quite there. But today, he was fantastic. And look, if we want to talk about 2 teams, who got affected more yesterday? It seems like the Los Angeles Dodgers had more of a they suffered more from that long game yesterday than the Toronto Blue Jays. Bieber came out fresh. And look, Shohei Ohtani, right? Yesterday, he was on base 9 times. 9 times. So he's out there running the bases a bunch yesterday. Now he's there until the very end of the game. Now he's got to have to go to sleep, wake up, and be the starting pitcher for today. And here's the thing. If the game didn't go 18 innings, would have Shohei been a little bit more sharp today? Maybe. I think Dave Robertson said we could talk about this as far as managing is concerned. Maybe he let him go another inning too long because he wind up allowing 2 guys on second and third, and both of those runs scored. So, I mean, you got to have to be careful as far as, limiting your guys. And, yeah, I mean, you got to keep him in there. But if he's going to be your starting pitcher the next day, you're gambling. And Dave Roberts gambled today. Didn't quite work out. And it was going to be a battle of the bullpens because both bullpens were spent yesterday. So which bullpen was going to keep it together and which one was going to fall by the wayside? And the Dodgers bullpen, they didn't look sharp today. What you think, Glenn?
You know what? The Blue Jays bullpen was a little bit to be desired, so to speak, during the regular season. But look at tonight. Fluharty, he's been having a great postseason. Varland, same thing. They call on these guys. They get the job done. And I think you tip the hat. My player to the game today was Bassett. The movement on his ball, he had every Dodger he faced fooled. Bassett, who's a starting pitcher, I might remind you, Eric, started his career as a reliever. They moved him to starter, and we got a little bit of the freak, little Timmy Lincecum-like action here in the postseason. They move him back to the bullpen, and that's where they're using effectively. And like Lou said, when you get a game where everyone at bat contributes, Lucas had 2 hits. Guerrero doing his thing. He was 2 for 4, scored Man, he was a man on a mission tonight. Scored 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Then you got Barger with 2 hits tonight. My boy Ernie, still looking for Bert, but Ernie had 2 hits tonight. Jimenez had a hit. I mean, they're just scattering those hits and they get the job done. And again, when I talked to you last week about this series when it got underway, Eric, I said, look at the batting averages. And I'm looking at them right now. I mean, you got one guy, Varsho batting 238, Jimenez batting 210. Everybody else, 262, 292, 311, 282, 243. Hey, Buster, I hope you're scouting this game, and you know what we need. We need guys who can hit. That's how you score runs, Eric. You produce runs when you get the bat and the ball, and you get the runners over, and we haven't seen that at Oracle Park in a long time.
Yeah.
And Lou's right, too. When the weather's warm at Dodger Stadium,
yes,
the ball flies. I heard them mention that early in the broadcast. And do you guys notice? That was a scary thing tonight in the first inning. I thought Lou mentioned the officiating, the umpires. I thought they had a miserable first inning. Holy cow. But then they settled down. That was a pretty well officiated umpired game tonight. Decent. I thought, but did you see early in the game, even those hits that the Dodgers were flying out, how many of them went to the warning track? I thought, it was like last night. Going to be a long night. But the pitching came through tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays, and that is what they can't win without solid pitching, and they're getting the job done, especially from that bullpen, Eric.
And I'm going to take a little page out of Lou's playbook, and I'm going to kick it to you. They had the lockdown innings, right? The shutdown innings. They were able to prevent that Dodger lineup to get any kind of momentum. The only time they got momentum was there at the end of the game. You can't, and I think there was another time.
In the sixth inning. In the sixth inning, they had runners at first and third with the one out. They made the pitching change.
Yep.
Fluharty, who had had tough time last night, came in. He was lights out. And then what happened? You get a little momentum because there was the chance the Dodgers had a chance. Probably should have taken the lead. Even a fly ball, they tie. And then the next half of the inning, they score the 4. And it was a huge, huge transition where, if you're a Toronto fan, you go, come on, get out of this. We still get the lead. And it's a big difference when you have a reliever who comes in with a 2-1 lead and he gets out with the lead compared to the other team tying it up. It's such a big thing. And you're on the road, especially after last night. And then you come back and, Ohtani didn't have it, but then they, hey, Ohtani, an amazing night last night, was on base at 9 times or whatever.
9 times, yeah.
But, he basically started hitting them, and then they bought that reliever in. And what I loved about Toronto is they let the pitches come to them instead of the other way. So, the first pitch, boom. You know what I mean? They worked the count. Exactly what they did with Snell in game 1. And, they scored that 4 runs, and you might as well have said it was 10-1. That's how it felt. And it's good. Hey, you know what? We have a series, and I think if we were to talk when we were with Marty saying, hey, if it's tied 2-2, do you think Toronto would take it, especially after everything being shut out by Yamamoto, losing that game? You would take it, and now it's best out of 3. And Toronto's got the home field back again, which is something they didn't even really talk about. But hey, if I'm Toronto, if we can win tomorrow just 1-2 at home, we're gonna get the flag. So
you know what, Lou? After watching last night's game, I mean, somebody at the end of the game, you take a deep breath and you go, somebody had to lose. I think at the end, no matter what happens the rest of the way, the end of this series, we've seen a hell of a series already. And I think that's the same thing we're to say when it's all said and done. They're handing out the hardware. This Blue Jay team, I mean, a lot of people, do you think, Eric, a lot of people besides us were saying, oh, yeah, the Blue Jays, they can compete with the Dodgers? I don't think many people were. And here the Blue Jays are putting on a hell of a show in this World Series and this postseason. And I think that regardless, we've seen I love this baseball, Eric. I
know. And I'm trying to find this clip that the interview with John Schneider yesterday. And he kind of set the tone for the team for today. And it was awesome. And that's the thing, because you could have very easily just kind of given up, right, as a team, because it was just a gut shot, right? I mean, you had so many opportunities. You had base running issues, fantastic defense. I mean, the defense was just absolutely incredible. All right, here it is. I just found it right here. This is fantastic. This is what I like to hear in the manager, man. This is awesome. All right, let's take a listen. Oh, what part to it? Okay, don't want to play all of it. We're going to play a little bit of snippets here.
What happened with George Springer?
Okay, don't worry about George Springer. Let's go back here. This is where I want it. If it works. If it works. All right, go ahead. Keep on. I'm going to see if I can get it.
Lou, one of the things that's been a standout in this series has been non-production from, how do you say his name properly? Page, the center fielder for the Dodgers. He is something like 4 for 47, is it, Lou? Something like that. Do you think they'll make a change tomorrow night? I wouldn't be surprised if they shake it up and they get him out of there. Meanwhile, I believe he's overdue, but I mean, the numbers, once you get up to 4 for almost 50, that's terrible.
And I think there's a little pressure on the Dodgers. You know what I mean? They now know they got to go back. They don't want to have to win both road games, or they're going to be eliminated. By the way, Eric, I just text Tony V to make sure our new manager to actually listen to this, since you got him so fired up. So I hope Tony knows how to be a professional manager.
Oh, man. All right, take a listen. This is it right at the end of the post game he gave.
You know what I mean? It sucks that it's late right now. We got to come back and do it again tomorrow, but these guys are going to be more than ready. You know what I mean? The Dodgers didn't win the World Series today. They won a game. You know what I mean? And these guys are going to be ready to go tomorrow.
Love it. I love it. You're putting it in perspective. They won a game. They didn't win the World Series. They won a game. My guys are going to be ready to come out there tomorrow and go get it done. And they did that. It's just that sometimes that's what you need. You need that steady voice, that confident voice of just, hey, guys, we can get this done. It's okay. Just leave it to me to do what I got to do. But you guys, I got confidence that you guys can go do that. So I love to see that from John Schneider. Great stuff.
The one thing I don't like, Eric, the one thing I'm, as somebody who's cheering for the Jays, the one thing I'm a little bit anxious about is the fact that the LA Dodgers haven't really unloaded yet on the Jays. No, they're overdue for a game. I mean, this is a team that put up how many times do they put up a double-digit win over the Giants during the year? And here the Blue Jays are just shutting them down. And
that's great. Yes.
Will the real Dodgers please stand up?
That's true.
That's
true. I mean, yeah. And let's see what happens, man. Yeah. And look. Lou, I know that you're going to get ready to stay. Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
No. What I was going to say is, hearing the manager and everything, the best thing that happened to Toronto was the game. They were back at the ballpark 15 hours later. If they would have been off today and had time to think about the loss, it might have affected them a lot more. But they're professionals, and I think the big thing, even though they were down, when the superstar hit that homer off Ohtani. It was like a grand slam. It literally brought everyone's guard down, saying, guys, we're going to win today. And that's what true superstars do. They come through in a clutch time when the team needs it. And, you know, that's the one thing the Giants really are lacking, that superstar, that sort of stud. And as me and Glenn have said, someone that's clutch. You know, this guy's been clutch the whole time. But, you know, it's one of those things where, hey, last night still was a game for ages. We're going to be talking about it forever. The second longest game ever. That game had great defense. I've never seen a play where there was 7 guys throwing out on the bases. I mean, it had everything. I think John Smoltz last night said, is there anything else we're not going to see? And finally, they had a double play, but they had every single thing of that game. You had a guy get on 9 times. You had a guy that had 2 homers. You had lead changes. You had plays at third that they had to actually check back-to-back times.
Plays at home twice.
You had plays at home. You had a play on a ground ball to third where Muncy kept his leg on the thing, just picking up a ball to force. It was unbelievable. But
was
regardless
crazy.
of that game, Toronto stepped up, you know, and it really, when you think about it, these 2 teams are the best teams because when you look at it, the AL East was the number 1 division. They had possibly 4 teams that could have made the playoffs, easily had 3 teams that made the playoffs. And when you look at it, the NL West with the Padres and Arizona right there. So, you know, and it's great, guys. This is the best thing for baseball. I know everyone's watching Toronto. I know, you know, maybe they were lacking. I mean, even though last night's game was going up against Kansas City, you know, it's sort of hard to believe it was yesterday, you know, all this stuff. But, you know, I know in Toronto and Canada, the viewership is huge. You know, right now, you know, it's tough to compete against, you know, the big boys, NFL. But now if we can get this going, it's only going to help. You know, it's going to be amazing this weekend because really there's no competition. You know what I mean? For games 6 and 7 because the NFL is going to be on Sunday and it's not going to be affected on Monday. And, you know, we go tomorrow, then we're off Thursday, and then we go back Friday and Saturday. What are you doing Halloween night? Game 6.
Oh, that's right. That's a damn good. I'll probably be doing a post game when there's a bunch of damn trick or treaters out there. You know what? The hell with them. But I tell you, I was a little worried because you know we haven't even talked about Springer. We don't know what the status is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be able to make another appearance. He was a big part of that lineup to lead off, and it looked like today the Blue Jays weren't missing him. They were able to still be able to get some stuff done. Again, guys like Clement and Barger were able to step up and you know fill that void, so to speak. So, are you concerned, Glenn, going forward that you don't have someone like Springer leading off? I mean, are you okay? They had Lucas lead off today. I thought he did okay.
When you lose George Springer, I mean, obviously that's a huge hit. But did you see the way they just shuffled the deck? Yeah, everybody won up. All of a sudden, you had great top 4, great top 5 there for the Toronto Blue Jays. And for those just joining us, I mean, what a game tonight. 6-2. 6-2, Eric. So the bats coming through, and Vladdy Guerrero Jr., they have Vladdy batting second. And with his pop, I'd still like to see him batting cleanup, especially I mean, I think he's got 7 home runs, Eric, so far in the postseason, and he went deep again tonight.
Warning for the 19th in Yamamoto. There's a fly ball to deep left center field. Headed back there. It is gone. Vlad Jr. gives the Jays the lead.
What a hit.
The franchise face putting the team on his back.
Yes, indeed he did. So I think I'd like to see him.
I'll tell you, this guy's amazing, and he's ready for everything. I mean, this is the first mistake that Ohtani has made, and he didn't get it back. And he can appreciate that because he does that to every other pitcher when he's at the plate. This breaking ball is up, barrel of the bat, out.
There you go. Big swing of the bat by the big guy, man. You need him to come through. Yesterday, right? He didn't have the big swing of the bat, but boy, did you see what else he did? Threw out Teoscar at third, and then went first to home. He went first to home, barely got in there, slid a little bit short, and was able to kind of touch home plate. But
do that was a big run. That was a huge run.
Huge
do you see the difference? And I mean, we're comparing World Series teams to our Giants, but man for man, both of those lineups, everyone can contribute. We don't have a lineup. That is why we're not a postseason team, Eric, and why we are nowhere near a World Series.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the offseason.
We got a doubleheader tomorrow. We got a doubleheader. We got to get up early for a press conference, Eric. You and I will be covering that if we're allowed in the building.
No, not tomorrow. That's
What's
Thursday.
Tomorrow?
Thursday. Tomorrow's just game 5. That's it.
Yeah, Thursday's the press conference.
See, I'm screwed up because of the doubleheader yesterday. It ended on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You had 2 games in one day.
I thought tomorrow was Thursday. Jesus.
And Eric and Glenn, I loved what the Varland did in the 9th inning. Did you guys happen to catch that?
Oh, yes. I loved what he did. A little psychology.
Run didn't matter. Yeah, the run didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
I mean, the run already scored, but the guy at second didn't matter because it could have changed the game. So he threw to third basically 3 times. He stepped off.
He disengaged so he could get him over back over to
third.
And
your run means nothing. You're not going to do this to me, dude.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing too is
battery of the signs. Yeah.
Here's another difference, and I'm going to throw this to Glenn. The starter today and Varland at the very end were both pickups at the trade deadline.
Yes.
Not guys who we get that might be good 3 or 4A players, guys that actually help in the World Series. That's a big difference when you get quality guys. Now you got to remember, Toronto already was, a good team, a playoff team, but they got guys that can take them to that next level. The biggest problem with the Giants is we're so stagnant, that we get guys that might be good in 3 or 4 years. That doesn't help the ball team. If they make the playoffs, you got to get a guy that can take you to that next level, because as you see, when you get to this level, it's so close. It's just one thing. I mean, last night was a perfect example. Eric brought up a point. I've never seen more fly balls get caught at the wall where it looked like the game was over.
It's crazy.
And, the ballpark was so jammed, so packed. Every foul ball, every fly ball I thought was out because the Dodger fans were going like, this is it. It's over. It's over.
Dodger fans are horrible for that.
Yeah.
Every fly ball.
So, but, I thought overall, this was a very gutty win. And I feel good being a Blue Jays fan going to tomorrow. They know they're going back. They just got to win 2 out of 3. But, boy, if they can win tomorrow and go up 3-2, my God, how crazy will Rogers Center be Friday night? It'll be out of control. So I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a great like I said earlier, Lou, this has been a hell of a series. No matter who wins.
Phenomenal. Yeah, the whole playoffs have been phenomenal. This might be the first couple of years where it's been indescribable. Like I said when I came on, when you guys were nice enough to have me on the show, when you think you know it, the complete opposite happens, and it just brings it up to another level. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the fact that a lot of these games, throughout the playoffs in past years, I can remember a lot of games where it was, you get your 6-1 games and your 7-2 game. Everything's been on the line, it appears. You get to the 6th, 7th inning, and you got your bullpens, and you're trying to figure out the other team, Lou. Don't you see that these games are up for grabs late? That is competition, and that makes everything great for viewers like us.
I completely agree. So no, I'm excited, and I like it where we're going to get 3 games in 3 days too. Because really, it's grown up baseball at its finest.
Yeah.
These guys could use a rest, but no, sorry guys, you have 24 hours and we're back again.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you said too, and I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast here, the fact that I know the fans get a little antsy there in LA, but I'll tell you, the first inning today, and I heard them mention it, they said it's like 90-some degrees and the ball will be flying. And it didn't look, I think it was Freeman again. First couple of innings, the ball was going out there deep on every swing. And I get a little nervous with Bieber pitching, but you nailed it. The Blue Jays, their management, they go out every year if they're in the race, and this is not just a one-year thing. They may not have been in the World Series, or they were ousted early in the playoffs, but they are aggressive. They go out, and they don't just make a deal and pick up players just for the sake of getting a name. They're getting guys who they have a specific role in mind. Bieber, This is what he was picked up for.
Yeah.
A late starter, 5th game, 4th game, if he needed to be, coming out of the bullpen if need be. And like you say, picking up Varland. That was huge. And I thought, again, another key example of strong pitching, Eric, or Lou, Fluharty tonight.
Oh, he
When
dominated. He came in.
He only threw 4 pitches, Lou, and he got 2 outs.
2 outs. He walked in and said, all right, I'm ready. And it was, big boy, you guys are the Dodgers, means nothing to me. And I thought that was so big because the Dodgers just needed to make contact. They didn't. And then the next inning, 4 runs, and the game was basically over. You know, and again, it's sort of crazy where people forget this team last year finished dead last in the AL East. And they're 2 wins away of possibly getting the ring. So
and you know why it's
possible.
You know why it's been fun for me following the Blue Jays in this postseason, jumping on their kind of bandwagon, if you will. And I am a closet Blue Jay fan. Again, you guys know that. But, I mean, Giants are my team, and it's just, you know what I mean. One thing I'm enjoying about watching the Blue Jays, not just this series, the entire postseason, Lou, Eric, see if you guys agree with me. This isn't vanilla, black and white. This isn't every player brings excitement to an at-bat and to the game and to the series. And I just enjoy, I love Miles Straw. Who knows it? I love watching him. I love watching Varsho. I love watching France. He came in to pinch hit today. Lucas. I mean, these guys I mentioned to you last week, Eric, when the series got underway, a lot of people don't know the names. And what did I tell you, Eric? By the end of this World Series, people are going to know these players by name.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's talk about this too. You're talking about the players. Let's talk about the different types of games that have been played. Game 1 was an absolute blowout. Blue Jays destroyed the Dodgers. Game 2, Yamamoto shoves, goes complete game, only allows 1 run. Yesterday, freaking a 2-gamer, 18 innings. A solo home run wins the game. Today, Blue Jays kind of put a stumping on the Dodgers. Beat them 6-2. This is fantastic. It's the best as a baseball fan who doesn't have a team in the mix. This is some beautiful baseball that we're watching. I love it. It's different storylines. You just and that's the beauty of baseball. You're just never going to see the same thing every time. You're going to see something a little bit different every time. And look, this World Series, it's been fantastic. I've been thoroughly entertained with the type of baseball that we've been able to watch here at the very end of the season.
We all know what happened last night, the 6-5 LA Dodger win. They threw 10 pitchers. And you know when I was getting really nervous for the Blue Jays? Would have been going to the 19th. You saw who was warming up in the pen?
Ridiculous, isn't it? Yamamoto is getting her.
I was like, oh, boy.
And Bieber was starting
and
to
Bieber
throw.
Was getting stretching out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
every man on, every man up. I mean, what were they going to do? There was nobody left on the bench. One of the Blue Jay players went down. I think it was around the 17th, maybe the 16th inning. He went down, and they said, I'm watching the Canadian broad. They go, they got nobody on the bench.
Nope.
He better be able to pop back up.
He fouled one off his leg.
I don't know if you guys saw, because I know, Glenn, you might have, with the time difference, you might have been asleep. But in the 16th
inning, I didn't shut that down for nothing, man. That was great.
Right. Well, in the 16th inning, they were saying, Sandy, get warm. Sandy Koufax. Yeah. People were standing up saying, Sandy, get warm. Sandy, get warm, just because they needed another arm. And
how about I didn't
6 years old.
I didn't get a chance to ask you guys about this. Can I talk about yesterday?
Yeah.
How about that kid, freaking Klein? Oh my God. That's a guy that just said, you know what? I got to go out there and I got to do it for my team. And the guy went out there and threw 60 something pitches.
Yeah. 69 pitches, 4 innings, and wasn't even on any of the other rosters the first round or yesterday. And they only did it just in case they needed it. And
well, because Vesia's got a personal issue.
So they had to bring him on and they weren't, he was like the very, very last guy.
Right.
And I think I saw his stats on the major league roster. he had only pitched 32 pitches. That's it.
Incredible.
The whole season. And
it's funny you mention him.
And, it's one of those things where we said when the playoffs start, there's always going to be one guy you've never heard of. And without him last night, they don't win.
They don't win.
Will Klein, he gets the win last night, went 4 innings. His pitch count was 72 in those 4 innings to close it out and pick up the win, Eric. And I watched his interview today. And they said, the first question, now you've had a chance to kind of calm down, good sleep. Like, what was your memory of last night? You know what his answer was?
What was
right
it?
out of the gate, he says, last night I got to meet Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, I heard about that. He came into the clubhouse.
He said that was his highlight. It was like, I threw my 4 innings and in an 18-inning game, got the win. But that was.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? This kid, had a 5 ERA or something throughout the year, and here it comes Sandy Koufax.
Let me ask you something, Lou. I talked to Eric about it in the green room before the show. What did you think? If we revert back to last night, Lou, tough loss for the Jays. Listening to the Fan 590 all day today, had it on in the background, and people were, again, they're not happy with Schneider, the manager. They're just not happy, and they're questioning again. Earlier on against, Seattle there, he brought in a pitcher, and it was kind of debatable. The fans didn't like it. Last night, they were like, Jesus, the Jays went 18 innings. It looked like a AAA lineup by the end of it. He had taken out all his star players.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. That's why it was really tough is, again.
I mean, taking Kirk out, but he sort of went for it. But here's the thing. He bought in a runner because I thought they were going to put the bunt down because they had one of their best bunters, and he looked horrible. Yep. And then he didn't even get a bunt down. It was
that
like
was Straw. Straw could not bunt for the life
of
him.
Dude, he was like trying to sneak it. Everyone knows you're going to bunt. Who cares? I don't care if they come down. And it worked against him, so you get him out. Then 2 innings later, he didn't want Bichette because of his injury. He took him out. Then the next inning is when got injured. So he lost 3 of his. I mean, that lineup last night wasn't even AAA. It was like single A. It was really bad. Where it was like. But
that reminded me of the.
I got to give Toronto a little credit, because it seemed like the Dodgers always had a chance to win it, and Toronto sometimes escaped. They escaped because a lot of these balls. I mean, a lot of these final outs were right at the wall. It's like, oh my God, stay in. That's why when Freeman hit it, I go, come on, stay in one more time. But, game for the ages. It's over with. Now it's 2-2.
Yeah, I was kind of perturbed about that. A lot of people in the listening
because there are a lot of times in that position of where, they'd have 2 guys on and Bichette would have batted. Instead, you got a guy, same thing. Kirk who can put the ball on all they need was a fly ball. No, another strikeout.
Yeah, that was to me, that's Giants baseball. Guy gets you a grand slam, and what do? Let's take him out. Yeah. I don't get it. But anyway, that's in the past.
And you know what? I got to say one thing. Speaking of that, Will Smith, I know he went 0 for 4 tonight, but he caught all 18 innings last night.
I know.
And he came back today because he's got championship DNA. Bailey wouldn't have. They would have not done and that's the difference between Bailey and someone like Smith.
I thought about that watching the game tonight, Lou. I thought, who he reminds me of? Buster. The fresh face, the way he bats. He's the modern day Buster Posey to me.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Buster. And he's clutch.
He's that modern clutch. He's the best. We don't
I'll tell you one thing
you
though.
Heard me rant. We need a hitting catcher. We need one.
As a Giants fan, when he pimped that home run that he thought he got was classic. Yeah. He thought he had it. And then as he's going down the line, you could see him say, get out. And then, nope.
And something else I've noticed this entire postseason, guys, that has not come up in any chats or on the radio or on our show. I meant to mention it a couple of times. You remember back a few seasons ago when Jose Bautista had the bat flip in that wild inning against the Texas Rangers?
Yep.
Bat flips galore every time there's a home run. Now nobody even it's not even questioned.
It's not even. It doesn't even matter anymore.
No,
it doesn't.
No,
Let me ask you guys this question. We're gonna have Game 5 tomorrow. What do you guys? I'm not gonna even talk about momentum because I've already discussed it's back and forth. There's really no momentum, so to speak. But who do you give the edge to tomorrow? Both bullpens. I'll tell you one thing. Blue Jays bullpen is looking better than the Dodgers bullpen.
I'm giving the edge to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are overdue to break it. I mean, they've got it all now. They're overdue for an offensive game. And look who they got on the hill.
Okay.
Snell. So I'm just going to give the edge. Now, I'll be cheering on the Jays, but the Jays have Lou, it's 2-2. You're going back home. They can't afford to. Neither team really can afford. Dodgers can't afford to lose and then go back to Canada. Meanwhile, the Jays can't afford to go down in this series, having to win back-to-back.
But tomorrow's
the game.
One thing. Blue Jays were able to get to Snell, so they might have his number. And here's another thing. Shohei Ohtani, he's got to go back out there. Look, 18 game yesterday or today. Today he pitched and hit, and now he's got to go out there and hit again today. He could be a little bit fatigued. I mean, I'm just saying that dude, that takes a lot out of you. Look, when you're playing both ways, both freaking being a pitcher and you're hitting, it takes a lot out of you, man.
Lou could do it. Lou could do it. He's no Shohei Ohtani. Come on, he's got all season.
The reason why he makes it look easy because he's an athlete special right now.
He's an athlete.
But that's not going to lie. You're still human, and you're still going to suffer from that. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Look what they did today. They didn't intentionally walk him. They struck him out a couple of times. How many hits did he have today? Did he have one hit? Did he even have a hit? He had no hits.
0.
No hits
struck
today.
Out twice.
Yeah. So again, it could be. We don't know. Let's see what happens. But there's Trey Savage again. He's got a lot of look. If there's any guy that's going to be quote unquote fresh, Bieber is one, and Trey Savage because they haven't thrown a lot this season. They haven't gone through an entire 162. Throwing or starting 30 games. Trey Savage before coming into the playoffs only had 3 starts. So he should be loaded and ready to go. So it should be interesting to see if Trey Savage, can he make that adjustment? Because he was okay, right? I don't think he was horrible, but he's going to have to be able to locate his pitches. If he gets a little bit wild, you can't give away. One thing you can't do is you can't give Dodgers free passes. Can't do it.
You are on the opposite side of the coin as me, Eric. You're talking about the Jays having already gotten to Snell. Going to be tough to do it back-to-back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Glenn, because Snell is that good of a pitcher. He realized the mistakes he made in game 1. I think it's going to be a lot tougher to score tomorrow. So I'm expecting a low-scoring game, probably a Giant special, small ball. Oh, wait, the Giants don't even play small ball anymore. No. But small ball. And I'm expecting like a 2-1, 3-1 game. I think getting the first run tomorrow is going to be huge, putting the pressure on the other team. And as Eric said, these teams are tired. But, you go up 2-0, it feels like you're up 5-0. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where, these guys are tired. It's the end of the road. And again, as we said today, it's going to be 92 again. It's going to be brutally hot. So it's tough. Yep. It's tough.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, we'll see how it all pans out. But you notice in these series, especially 7-game series, more so for the bullpen rather than the starters, the more you see of the pitcher, the more it leans credence to the lineup to be able to do something. Now, if that pitcher can be as good as he can be, well, that's a different story. Again, like you said, Lou, if Snell's able to figure something out on where he went wrong, maybe, but we'll see how it works out. I'm looking forward to it. I can't tell you.
And I want Toronto to get a lead for one reason. One of the things we don't talk about, and John Smoltz talked about it today in the 7th, is the Dodgers. Toronto's relievers have been phenomenal, but the Dodgers have seen them. You know what I mean? So there's going to be no surprises at all. They've seen in the last 2 days, some guys are going to be pitching for the 3rd day in a row. So you try to make sure you don't have to go to the bullpen. Like, the guy tonight,
Varsha, or no,
Vardy, he pitched last night. they pitched tonight. He was cocky. He got the job done. But tomorrow, they're going to be prepared because they know what to expect. You know, we don't talk too much when the relievers have pitched 3 days in a row. And it's not just any 3 days in a row. It's very clutch, crucial times of the game. High intelligence. So I think that's big. That's why I think tomorrow, you know, if you can get maybe even just one run off Snell in the first 2 and get that lead, and, you know, give the rook, you know, hey, we got you. We got great defense behind you. Give us the lead. Just do your job and hold them down. And
here's another thing.
Will be big. Yeah.
And a big factor tomorrow, can Blake Snell limit the amount of walks, because that's what gets him in trouble. Because the one thing that Dave Roberts is going to need is they need him to go as deep as possible, because then you got to go back to the bullpen again. And that's what happened in the first game. Remember, they went to Sheehan, and Sheehan just absolutely crapped the bed. But if he's out there and he's only going to go 5 innings, that's going to be tough for the Dodgers.
Toronto's got to be patient.
They do.
If you remember game 1, there was 27 foul balls. We talked about that on one of the shows. That's what they need to do. Make Snell work. Doesn't matter. Even if you don't score runs, get like 75 pitches in the 4th inning. Make him work. You know what I mean? Where, you know, with our lineup, it just takes, 2 hits and a fly ball. And I thought tonight another big at bat that they didn't really talk about is there was runners at 1st and 3rd with nobody out. And they had a line drive to 3rd, and they threw it to 1st, and the guy almost got doubled, right?
Yep.
But he got back. The next guy they pinch hit for, and we talk about this a lot. You just got to make contact. He just hit a nice ground ball past the pitcher.
Hi, Fritz. Yep.
Fritz. They couldn't get the double play. The run scored. It was a huge play at the time because of what happened at first base. You know, again, sometimes all you got to do is just put the ball in play and good things happen. Huge run, very
especially
simple
in games like this. Did you hear how many pitches were thrown yesterday? I think they said, what was it? Game 2 was like 209. Yesterday was over 600 pitches were thrown yesterday. I mean, they said they almost ran out of baseballs. They almost ran out of baseballs.
Yeah, did you see that? They ran out of foul balls.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, man.
I truly believe the Jays, who got to win tomorrow, must win. And then they got to go back to Toronto and take it. I'm betting the farm. Game 7, if it goes to 7, betting the farm on the Dodgers. I don't think
I don't know. If it goes to game 7, guess who their starting pitcher is going to be?
Scherzer.
Guess who it's going to be for the Dodgers?
Glasnow.
That's not that good, man.
Glasnow, Scherzer, I'm betting the farm on the Dodgers.
That could be a lopsided. Lou, I remember when we were talking about this when the series goes to L.A., you said that there's going to be runs all over the place. Well, runs have been all over the place, to be honest with you. It wasn't like it was.
Glasnow barely got to the 5th today, because, again, you got a good hitting team.
That one's going to be all hands on deck. You're going to see, if it does go to a game 7, it's going to be Glasnow. It's going to be Yamamoto. It's going to be Ohtani. It's going to be everybody. It's going to be the same with the Blue Jays. You're going to probably see. I
don't think it'll be Yamamoto.
Yeah. Well,
we got Yamamoto pitching the day before, 2 days before.
Yeah, it won't be Yamamoto. Shohei will be there.
Shohei will get a couple of innings.
Blake Snell will probably be making an appearance if it goes to game 7.
But after what we saw last night, if it goes 7. Oh, my God, there could be a 9-inning record for the number of pitcher appearances in a game.
Could you imagine, dude, if it goes game 7, that is going to be so freaking exciting.
Another reason why I brought up with Marty, I think the stupidest rule in baseball is forcing a pitcher to pitch to 3 batters. Why have they done that, Lou? Why have they done that?
It's all about money, man.
Nope.
Time.
It's the Bochy rule. Bruce Bochy was the best at it, where he bought in 4 pitchers for 5 batters in the World Series. And they said,
but it makes the game last like 3 hours.
I agree.
It's baseball, Eric. It's baseball.
But MLB, tell that to Manfred.
Yeah. It's basically the Bochy rule. They say
Manfred's the same guy who was talking about bringing in the golden ball rule. Eric, I'm
That's
and the
guy
two
who's
new
trying
teams.
to go,
No more
man.
Giant Dodgers series. Remember, they want to bring the two new expansion teams in with the Giants and the A's. I mean, it's like, dude, what are you thinking?
Yeah, if they
Baseball doesn't
expand,
need more
Vancouver or
Vancouver and Portland, and then the Giants and the A's would be that would be the NL West or
don't mess with that bullshit, please. Come on. Come on, man.
Anyway.
Hey, they're trying to do whatever they can for the Giants to make one of the wild cards. And they're gonna change the schedule. So
look what Armand had to say.
I'm like excited. Yeah, go ahead.
Again, there's so many different things that you can look at with the first ever in playoff history. I mean, we've seen so many of these. Armand says, per OptaStat, Shane Bieber is the first pitcher in MLB history to miss first 4+ months of the season on the IL or DL, as it used to be called, and win a World Series game that same year. Again, that's the thing about baseball, man. They got these things all over the place. I mean, there was a bunch of those yesterday, specifically with Shohei. 4 hits and getting freaking walked 5 times. I mean, that was just incredible. And there's a lot of talk about that, getting rid of the the intentional walk. It's like, come on, it's always
I
been
don't understand. Guys want to do that, and they want to get the ghost runner. Last night's game was legendary because we didn't have a ghost runner. You know, it's like, come on, guys.
I don't even like that. I don't like that in the regular season because Lou, it's 2 different games. Oh, we can do it in the regular season, but okay, back to real baseball.
And they only did it because of COVID. During the year, it was
that's what it was.
And then they've stuck with it.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens. You institute a certain rule because of a certain situation. Guess what? It winds up sticking, and then you can't ever get it away with it. It's dumb.
You know
why mess with a good thing?
I know.
Oh, it's really good when we get Little Lou in. Get Little Lou on the show.
That's from Little House on the Prairie.
Yes, it is. Little Lou.
Yep.
Little Lou.
Had to go rescue.
I thought maybe, and I thought last night people in the chat were saying, oh, Lou's not on because of the Jonas Brothers. And by the way, as you notice, I did not change it because the other night, you remember when they did the fight for game?
I remember that,
for game 2.
Oh, yeah, Jonas Brothers. Well, look at mine. I wanted to bring it back for game 6.
There you go.
What are you talking about? Get out of here, man. That as a freaking Blue Jay fan, you need to be burning freaking effigies of the Jonas Brothers.
Hey, by the way, Eric's guy tonight was back in the stands, and he was Beaver was wearing the Beaver jersey, which I
saw that. Cool. Yeah. He was.
I keep forgetting he's the Canadian. So, and it's amazing. Funny, after last night's big win, they had more movie stars today. Just
what's funny?
Going up everywhere.
Did you see the clip of it was Ryan Howard? A whole bunch of freaking baseball guys. There was someone else. Who else was it? They're in the box down the right field line. And every time Shohei come up, they're all doing this. And they're yelling down at the down. Walk them. They know. They know what's up. Yeah,
D-Shot, I was not asleep. Glenn, you got to remember, is on the East Coast. I text Eric and said, dude, I don't know if I can do a 19th inning, and I'm not going to be able to do a ninth a post-game show. So I'm sorry I wasn't on last night. I apologize. That's why I said, hey, D-Shot, I hope you were on the show last night because I commended the chat and Eric.
Lou, that's one of the things pisses me off the most about doing a show like this. When people throw out blind comments that they know nothing about. I watched the entire game. I watched the post game, watched part of Eric's show, and then I basically rolled over. I was laying on the bed and had to go to work. I was on the radio. I was on at 6 this morning, but I watched the whole thing. So where's D-Shot? Lou, I take offense to that. D-Shot saying you didn't watch. You didn't watch. He's calling you a liar tonight?
No, he's joking. Remember, on text, you can never, you don't know. If you go by text, you cannot tell whether someone's
text don't leave unless you delete it. So I got proof. Yeah, insane. Casey Schmidt, 30 homers. That's like Kratman. It ain't gonna happen. So let's start thinking wise here. But Eric and Glenn, I think it's just amazing, and I've used this line a few times, how you feel 24 hours later after a game. Because last night, I'll be upfront, I was tired. I was sort of pissed off. Toronto had their chances. It seemed like
I know.
They couldn't do anything, and then they bounced back tonight. But that's what championships do, and that's why I'm so excited because, we have a chance for 3 more games. And you know what? When these playoffs started, we were upset the Giants didn't make it again, and we were saying, "Oh, great, the Dodgers." But these playoff games, how quickly we forgot. We had a 15-inning game where if one team, doesn't win, the Detroit game, Seattle, we don't get that. Seattle was up 2-0, beating the first 2 games in Toronto. I know the Dodgers had an easier time, but these playoffs have been phenomenal. Phenomenal. And, I'm just excited because, I'm a huge baseball fan. I love college football. I love college basketball. It's probably my favorite sport, probably because my college U of A is actually good. But, I'm not a huge Niner fan. I mean, I enjoy NFL, but I'm not, on Sundays, tell you the truth, I wouldn't even watch NFL if I wasn't betting it. I mean, I'd rather just sleep in and do something. I do love college, but baseball, it's different, and I'm one of these guys where when playoff baseball happens, except for playoff hockey, NHL, I watch every pitch. I make sure I don't miss anything. I sort of make sure, okay, the game's at 5:08. That means I got to get my, dinner by 4:15. I got to do this. There's just something special about baseball, and I think it's predictable, and that's why we love the sport so much, because this playoffs have been phenomenal, and I can't wait.
They have been. Yeah, right. And this is just kind of the cherry on top, because this World Series has been fantastic. Really.
Lou, you think it's going to be low scoring, tight tomorrow night?
Yeah, but I'm going against my logic with I'm only thinking because I think Snell is good enough to come back. But, when it's 93 degrees, 94 tomorrow, I think it might even be hotter tomorrow. I think the ball is probably going to be flying. So I'm just hoping Snell leaves a few mistakes and, maybe Kirk or, somebody beside Vlad can go deep. And, I'd love for Toronto to get a lead and then really make the Dodgers suffer, especially I think it's great because we spoke about it earlier. Sorry, Eric. It's tough enough to beat these teams. And when they lost game 2, Glenn was very logical saying, I don't think they're coming back. But we also brought up the point, it's hard to beat a team this good 4 times. So you got to remember, too, all Toronto's done is they've beaten the Dodgers 1 time. So there's still 3. It's hard. These teams are so good. I know I predicted Toronto in 6. I'd love for it to happen since, I have a little bet at 20-something to 1 where Toronto has to win in 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7 because, even if the Dodgers lose tomorrow, Yamamoto, it's just, this is the type of series where it's just starting to build and build and build, and I could see a game 7 where it's like, oh my God, we could be having another game for all the marbles and we're in the 12th inning. Again, that's what I'm hoping. But, I just think with these teams, and I think Glenn brings up a good point. The Dodgers, Ohtani's had a great series and Freeman got the big one, but really nobody else on that team is really who's capable to go, 3 for 3, have done anything yet.
Here's a question.
Look at tonight.
I'm hoping that happens in 2026.
Yeah, they scattered 6 hits tonight, Lou. They just scattered 6 hits. And the only damage was late in the game. And the Blue Jays were giving them runs. They just were taking the outs. They weren't worried about the scoreboard. Take 3 outs, get out of there with the win. So the fact that they could only come up with 6, I think they're overdue. I do think that tomorrow is the pivotal game in the entire series. If the Blue Jays don't win tomorrow, they face Yamamoto. He's been lights out. I can't see them beating him.
That's a good point. And here's the thing. Are the big right-handed bats going to show up? Alejandro Kirk, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Ernie Clement has a little bit of pop in his bat. Are they going to show up and be able to do some damage against Blake Snell, man? I tell you, one thing I hope they do, and Lou, you spoke to it, and this is one of the issues I had with today's game. They didn't put enough pressure on Shohei today. They could have gotten a lot more pitches out of him. A lot of first pitch swinging. I'm like, come on, man. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's at least take a pitch. Because look, they
They
know that their
they were
bullpen.
0-2 a lot. Yeah.
Yes, they know that the Dodgers bullpen is weak. So go out there, make them work. Tomorrow, it's the same thing. Make Snell. Now, Snell's going to make it a lot easier because the guy likes to notoriously walk people anyways.
Yeah.
So go out there, make them throw a lot of pitches, and then clobber that mistake, man. I'm telling you.
That's also where Snell has an advantage tomorrow. There is no Springer. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
a
that's
that
true.
you're really going to be missing. Now, tonight,
Yes.
with Ohtani, it was a little bit different. But, going against a lefty starter tomorrow, the lineup is affected. And, there's going to be a time where when Springer was up, where they need that big hit, that's where they're going to have to come through with something.
Yes.
Maybe a suicide squeeze or something because Springer's not there to give them the double down the line or the fly ball. And I think when someone goes out, you're okay now because it's the first game, it's adrenaline, everything. But, later in the series, that's where they're really going to miss Springer's leadership. Second of all, the guy's done it before, and he's super clutch. It's hard to put somebody else in there because until you've done it, you don't know how it's going to affect the person. So I think like tomorrow against someone because that's one thing Snell goes, hey, if you look at game one, who affected him? There was probably 3 or, he got clobbered. Well, it might have been maybe, he now knows, all right, instead of 5 guys I got to worry about without Springer, I really only got to worry about 3 or 4. And that's all I'm saying.
You know what? I think if the Toronto Blue Jays lose the series, a la the Dodgers win it, I think the talking point then becomes the Dodgers on paper and obviously in the games themselves, they had a far superior starting pitching staff. Far superior.
Well, it may not come to that. It may come down to just the Dodgers may be able to win the next few games. Again, 5-6, 5-4. Again, because their pitching isn't good, but they got a great lineup as well. So, I mean, you got to look at it both sides of it. Not only do they have some pretty good pitching, but their lineup is pretty damn fantastic. So even if you're getting runs off of their pitching, they got the possibility of putting up a crooked number at any given time. So you got to be careful. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. Yamamoto will not have a good game. Blue Jays.
I don't know,
man.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking, Mr. Postman, 1955. I don't know about you, Eric. I read all of I go in the next day and I read all the comments. I think Mr. Postman, if the Dodgers win the series, we just open it up. Lou and he will do the show because the postal worker over there, he says you and I know nothing about baseball. So I have that locked away. So
it's all good. I'm not worried about it.
I don't think he's keen on Lou either. So
I'm not worried about it. People,
know nothing, Eric. You know nothing.
Hey, and I
why do you have Postman and Robert?
Everything I've forgotten.
Robert
from you
can do or Chardol. There you can do the 3 amigos: Robert, Chardol, and Postman.
Okay, let's talk about this. So, if you're Dave Roberts, who do you go to when you got to go pull Snell?
Boy,
I'm guessing it's going to be probably the same thing they did in game 1. Probably going to be Sheehan, right? Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Kershaw.
Yeah, that was
You're
not a
not gonna see
desperation.
Kershaw.
And by the way,
no, I think they go to Banda.
You're going to go to Banda. The first guy you're going to go to is Banda.
I think they'll use Banda, Robleski. They still got guys they'll go to. I don't think they're going with Sheehan. Just like I think the Sheehan move would be the equivalent of bringing in a Little.
If he has to come in and look, if Snell's going out there for the 5th and he's got to pull him, you're going to have to bridge the rest of the 5th all the way to the 9th. Will Klein, I don't know, man. That guy might be spent until freaking game 6, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think
he's going to be ready.
We'll see how it plays out.
And it's going to be interesting to see. Again, here we go. We're going to talk about managers. Who is going to make the right moves? Who's going to push the right buttons at the right time? We're getting down to that point in this series where every little move is going to be examined, re-examined, and then examined again because it could mean the matter of winning and losing. So I love this. This is the chess match that I love of who am I going to go to? For the simple fact now, it makes it more interesting because of that 18-inning game. It makes it that much more, what do you want to call, under a microscope? Because you got to know who you got to go to because your guys are tired.
I don't think they'll go Roki 2 innings in a row. Can't see that.
Yeah, yesterday he went 2 innings. Didn't look that good. He
comes back with 1.
Didn't look. I think he's got 1 inning in him. Yeah, that's true. Ibrahim, he's saying the same thing you said earlier about Bassett. Bassett and Lauer, dude. Lauer's awesome. We haven't talked about him. Me and you were talking about him in the green room, Glenn. Lauer, man, that guy was something. That guy was just a throwback. He just, give me the ball, and I'm going to throw it. If you could hit it, they power to you. If you do, all right, well, all right, right on. But he was just out there just throwing, man. And he looked like he wasn't even breaking a sweat. He's just, well, it's just.
I don't know how to break it down, so I got to ask him. Blue Jays have made the adjustments. What adjustments have they made? What adjustments?
Now,
I think it's just.
That's the thing.
I think it's just playing out, Eric. I don't think there's no room for.
Yeah. And look, I've heard a bunch of praise for the Blue Jays hitting coach. I can't remember his name, but supposedly this guy works miracles with guys' swings. Literally, I mean, he could literally fix guys' swings in a matter of a game. I can't remember where the quote I saw it. I wish I saved it.
And they got him from another team, if I remember.
Yeah, they did. And he's supposed to be just fantastic.
Yeah. And the great Dan said, that's who I want the Giants to go after. I mean, I've never heard of the guy, but that's what Dan was claiming. The one thing Giants,
not Dan, but the Giants, we had Ecker. The guy was Donnie Ecker. Wind up going to Texas. They won the World Series. Then they let him go the next year. And yes, to a certain extent, yes, it's nice to have a guy that can help fix you. That's huge, man. If you got a guy that can do that, that's awesome. But look, he's probably going to stick with Toronto.
Unlike Pat the Bat. All right. I guess I would throw that in there.
Yeah.
Look at how good look at how good the Dodgers are. All they have to go out this year and get is a closer. Roki gets penciled in as a starter next year. They are, dude. They always have the pieces. And then there were people who would say, "Oh, they're not built for the long run. They're built for years to come."
All right, here, let's talk about this, guys. Armand, thank you for sending me this link. Remember? Okay, let me preface this. What does AJ Preller like to do? Likes to make that big move, doesn't he? He loves to win the offseason. He loves to win the trade deadline. Wow. Yeah. Let's take a gander at what Armand sent. Kevin Acey, guy covers the San Diego Padres for the Union Tribune. Albert Pujols has a second interview as Padres continue search for their new manager. So he's getting a second interview, guys.
Nothing wrong with that.
He's probably going to be the next manager, to be honest with you. I could see him being the next manager of the San Diego Padres. It's going to be interesting to see how that one works out.
I'm not as interested in who everybody else gets. I'm interested to find out what we got.
We'll find out Thursday. We'll find out Thursday what the guy's all about. First time we get to hear him speak.
I'm going to tune into that because I want to hear Eric. I'm going to be listening for your voice on that conference call. And
yeah,
Eric
sure. You'll hear me on that.
Sir, it's Eric Romo from Giant Sports Talk Live here. It's win now. Win now. Because don't you expect everybody has been saying on all the other chats and on the radio, there's going to be growing pains. This guy's never coached in the major league. Got to be growing pains, Eric.
Yeah.
But it's win now. Well, which is it?
We'll find out Thursday.
Buster, again, talks out of both sides of his mouth, man.
We'll find out, man.
Oh, I got to give my manager the vote of confidence. You're fired. So I never know.
Eric
I don't know what to believe anymore.
That's a good point, Glenn. That's a good point.
Hey, Eric and Glenn in the chat, I just really want to say thanks for making me feel part of this show as I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. I'm going to be in Las Vegas. So
that's right.
I'm going to be gone for the next 10 days with work in the Breeders' Cup. But I just wanted to say thank you for having me part of this World Series post games. awesome time. I won't be able to see you. I mean, I'll be able to listen in. I just won't be able to be on the show.
Worries.
Chat. Really appreciate letting me be part of this. You guys have been awesome to work for, and we'll talk once we have a World Series champion. But I really want to say thanks for making me feel special on this show.
You're welcome.
Awesome, Lou. Hey, we're happy to have you on, man. I love listening to what you have to say. I tell you, yes, man. I tell you, I love bringing people on where they're talking about Giants baseball and in just baseball in general. We're having fun, man. It's just a couple of guys, sitting around having a baseball chat, and it's fun. And then we can involve the chat, of course, and hear what they have to say and just talking about it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Lou. We love it.
You know what, Eric? He's not going to Vegas. He's going to Toronto to see the Jonas Brothers again. Enjoy the concert, Lou.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
I'll send you photos because tomorrow night at Westgate, where I'm at, it's going to be probably 90% Dodger fans. So I'll take a little video, show you, and Eric.
Don't the Westgate have a huge sports book?
The biggest in Vegas. It's actually
and I believe Vegas Sports and Information Network do the broadcast set of that place.
They do it in one of the booths right behind where I'm at.
VEASAN, because I know when I watch VEASAN, the background, I've never been in that one.
Yeah.
But the background, it looks unbelievable.
So on the weekends, they actually are at the Westgate. During the week, they have a studio at Circa. But they do it right behind me. I listen to that show. By the way, again, we're just here for public knowledge, not gambling or anything. But whatever it is, VEASAN is the best show. If you guys ever do anything, costs $1 a month. It helps out professional picks. But these guys they are so talented on everything from sports, CFL, betting lines, everything. Very enjoyable.
CFL playoffs, lay down a little bet, put on a little wager. Playoffs start this weekend, Lou.
Yeah, CFL. I got to see who we're going to be playing in the West. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the big announcement, Glenn. Not this year's Grey Cup, but next year's Grey Cup has been rewarded to Saskatchewan.
So that's where Rough Riders.
The Grey Cup will be. Yep.
That's how weird the CFL is, Eric. At one time, they had 9 teams. 9 teams. One was the Rough Riders, and in the West, they had the Rough Riders.
Oh, so you had Rough Riders and then Rough Riders.
The Saskatchewan Rough Riders and the Ottawa Rough Riders.
And Eric, CFL was in such bad shape at one time, they had a team in Sacramento play in the CFL.
They had a team in Vegas. They had a team in Vegas. Sacramento, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, wow. Because they couldn't get enough teams. Now CFL, they don't have a problem. They have promoters. I mean, it's sort of funny. The late great John Candy, who of course is from Toronto, bought the Argonauts.
He owned 50% of the team.
50%, yeah. Him and a guy, the great one, I don't know who he is, and then the fraud that sort of screwed him over.
He owned 50%. The other half owner was Bruce McNall, who owned the Los Angeles Kings.
McNall, who got them, and then Wayne Gretzky.
No, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky teamed up with Bruce McCall, and they brought
McNall owned the 25. Yeah,
25, the T206 baseball cards.
Yeah.
But the one thing the Canadian Football League did under their tutelage was they went out and gave the biggest contract to the Rocket.
From Notre Dame.
Yep. Who was your favorite Canadian Football League player, Lou? Did you have one?
I think Warren Moon was so incredible. He's probably people talk about the GOAT, and Warren Moon is never even mentioned. If you would have saw his stats.
I did. I mean, I grew up, Lou.
Am I right? How incredible was Warren Moon?
He played 5 seasons and he won 5 championships.
And I think did he pass for 50,000 yards? I mean, it was incredible. Maybe it was 40,000 yards.
The best wing I ever saw, the best quarterback arm I watched growing up was Matthew Dunnigan. Matt Dunnigan was the best.
One of my brother's roommates at University of Arizona played there. A guy named Tom Tunnicliffe played up in CFL. He was one of these guys that never really got a shot in the NFL, but he went to who did he play for? I think he went to Edmonton, and he loved it. But if you guys ever wanted to,
sorry, Luke.
I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say the chat. If you guys ever want to see a talented quarterback, just see Warren Moon in the CFL, and people realize Warren Moon probably played NFL because he was African American, because he was a stud at University of Washington. He dominated the CFL. Then he got an opportunity, but just an incredible football player. So I'm A Square, John Candy documentary on Prime, really good watch. I saw it. So, but no, this weekend, the CFL, and then in 3 weeks, we get the Grey Cup, the Great Grey Cup. We might even have to do a pre and post game show for that, especially if our two teams are in it. Ooh.
Can you imagine? Well, we wouldn't meet in the Grey Cup final.
We'd meet in the West.
We'd meet in the semifinal in the West.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan Rough. If we actually, Lou, that's not out of the realm of possibility, is it?
No. I'm just glad we get to play our game at home because,
we play Montreal this week. If we beat Montreal, we play the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Yeah. And you've given us a tough time because your defense solid.
It's going to be Zach Collaros. It's all he's Zach Collaros year after year after year after year. He is solid all season, puts up huge numbers, gets to the big game, lays an egg.
It happens.
Oh, I'm well aware. Well, I'll break out my Winnipeg Blue Bomber jersey and
there you go.
Some CFL talk. I got some friends who they don't watch much CFL during the season, but they never miss the Grey Cup. They text me all freaking day.
The great thing about the Grey Cup compared to the Super Bowl, it's a whole weekend. I mean, of just parties, concerts, and the best is the last couple of years. I mean, it has been ferociously storming, snowstorms. Places still sold out. People having a ball. It's pretty phenomenal.
The last one I went to was it's been a while, Lou, because of my schedule, and I worked in the hockey ranks, so I couldn't get away to go to a Grey Cup. So before I took my job in the Quebec League, I went to the Grey Cup in Ottawa between the Toronto Argonauts and the BC Lions. Ooh. And the player of the game was Mike O'Shea, I believe. And Mike O'Shea became the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers afterwards. I don't know if you remember all the veteran names. Like, do you know names like Sam Echeverry?
We've had Doug Flutie twice at our facilities. And, Doug played a few years in Canada. And it's a different game. Right. But he loved it. He said, first of all, most of these towns are small towns. When you go during that season, by the way, they're adding another week of the schedule next year. They also announced. Jesus. So it's going to be an 18-week season instead of 17. But he said he would walk around and, you just have to do one good thing during the week. He never had to pay for a meal. Now, Doug Flutie, is very well known, but, being a quarterback, it's one of those things. You just step up. See, the people, it's sort of weird. People don't realize how big hockey is in Canada, right? And how we talk about AAU basketball. They have that different levels of hockey all over Canada. Places that, barely have one movie theater, but they have a hockey team. And then they have CFL. That's it. There's really nothing else in, Canada. They were very lucky to get baseball, but, they lost Montreal and, the Expos, which was a fraud because the Expos, if people forget, when they had the strike, they had the best record before the strike and they had the best record after, and they had a dynasty, and unfortunately it just didn't work out. But, hey, I just really NBA, but Toronto's one thing. You got to remember, it's still all about hockey, But
in the CFL, Lou, Regina's the small city. The rest are all big cities. You get Hamilton, Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. Winnipeg here is well over 1 million people.
Yeah,
BC, it's like probably 2.5 million. Toronto. Well, you know how big Toronto is.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Regina.
Before we get out of here, have you seen that documentary about the Expos yet? I have not.
No, I have not. I just saw the John Candy one, but I'll have to see the Expo one. Is it on Prime or?
I think it's on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix, Lou. I looked, and it's not on the Canadian Netflix yet, and it's about a Canadian team. So
yeah, and Glenn, I sent a thing to Eric last night, and it's sort of funny. We all talk about Ohtani, but 60 Minutes did a special when Ohtani was playing in Tokyo. How big he was. And I sent it to Eric. It's only 15 minutes long. You know, one he sent it to Glenn, but he was a guy that was going to come straight out of high school, but his team had an owner saying, hey, I'll make sure you can pitch and hit if you stay with us, because everybody else, he was never going to hit. He was just strictly going to be a pitcher. And because of this one, it's amazing how things happen for a region, serendipity. But because one team did it and how he was, just wanted to talk to him. Hey, can I see you outside? He goes, no, he used to live for 2 years. He lived in the dorm of the team because all he would do is work on his pitching motion to make sure it was right. And then he'd hit in the cage and that's it. He just lived and died baseball. And
still
now
does.
Yeah.
Greatest player ever.
I've never seen anything like it. Now, again, maybe someone like, Babe Ruth, but he's the best of our generation by far.
And you want to know some of the repercussions of his greatness? Look at this. This is on foul territory. The Dodgers added roughly $30 million in new sponsorship revenue this year. That's equivalent to adding a entire new franchise's worth of deals to the MLB, according to Sponsor United founder and CEO Bob Lynch.
So why didn't the Giants just go out and get the deal done, man?
I know they don't want to because they
unbelievable. $30 million in new sponsorship revenue this year alone.
And Eric, I heard last year
because that's the Ohtani effect.
Last year, every one of his games is live in Tokyo. Every one of his games. So it's sort of crazy. We criticized the game last night that ended at 3:30 Eastern time. What is it, Tokyo? 9 hours ahead Eastern time, so 12. That game was live. It was live tonight. They have specials where you could fly directly from Tokyo to Burbank, because that's the closest airport to LA Dodger Stadium. They have, they bought 30 season tickets where they fly them to watch them. And from what I heard, they did last year $97 million. Again, let me repeat this in 1 year, $97 million worth of Ohtani jerseys.
Let me ask you again, Lou. Why didn't they just sign him? Jesus.
Yeah. And when they say he's only making $2.5 million, they probably had a deal where he makes 20% of all the jerseys, and then Major League gets 20, and then the Dodgers get 60. So it's just one of those things. That's why it's just amazing. 30 million, in 1 year. That's why, and that's another player. And we all criticize the Dodgers. Oh, they're not spending their own money. They just made $30 million.
Yeah,
for
and
another player for next year.
There was a report last year. They made all their money last year in everything, in ticket sales and merchandise and name it. They made it up. So the Giants could have gave them $1 billion and they would have came out ahead, because that's just how. But whatever, it is what it. Can't cry over it now. It's done.
I still got my Kevin Pillar jersey, so I'm good.
There you go.
All right, time to get out of here, I think, guys.
Yes, let's do it. It was another great show.
Don't forget
guys.
Have a good trip.
I know last night I didn't do it. Sponsors, thank you, sponsors, for having us on.
That's absolutely correct. You know what? Hey, we couldn't do it, right, without these guys. You want to, Shohei Ohtani, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
We're bringing in the cash.
Giant Sports Talk Live, brought to you by Lefties in Burlingame. Visit Lefties for all of your Giants collecting needs. By GenesisGoldIRA.com, Signatures for Soldiers. Duxwell Printing, for all of your printing needs in the Bay Area. Visit Duxwell Printing at 37 Wentworth Place in San Francisco. And by BetterCreditCards.com. For the best credit card choice for you, visit BetterCreditCards.com. Covering covering the San Francisco Giants nightly, online. We are Giant Sports Talk Live. Now, back to Eric and Glenn.
And Lou.
All right. And just to recap today, Game 4 World Series between the Dodgers and Blue Jays. Blue Jays even it up. Beat the Dodgers 6-2. Again, late in the game, you had the bullpen came in for the Dodgers, and they just didn't have it. And the Blue Jays were able to play some Blue Jays baseball, make contact. And then, of course, earlier in the game, you had a big blast from Vlad Guerrero Jr. They you know what? They never lost the lead. They went up 2-1, and they never looked back, which was
shut down.
Which is huge because the LA Dodgers are hard to keep down. So there you go.
Hey, Lou, you like biopics and you like those kind of things you can watch on Netflix, learn a little bit. New one coming up. I'll be talking about it on the morning show. You'll have to tune in tomorrow for all the details, Lou. But the next biopic is coming out about Deborah Harry. Going to be a feature film on her career. You know who Deborah Harry is?
Is she the Blondie girl?
Yep. Former Playboy playmate turned lead singer of Blondie.
Never heard. How about that?
One of the first women of rock and roll.
No, the name.
Call me?
No, that I have.
Call me.
Yeah.
Call me.
Yeah, that I have. Yeah, that one I have. Yeah. All right, let's get the hell out of here. We'll be back here. It's going to only be me and Glenn. Lou, enjoy your trip to Las Vegas, man.
Lay a little wager on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers there for me, Lou.
I'll see what I can do. No
All
problem.
right, brother.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
Have a great
See
time.
you
Thanks
night.
again for everything.
We'll say hi to you tomorrow night.
Woo!
You've been watching the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live with Glenn and Eric, an in-depth review of today's World Series matchup between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting production.